Pro-life leaders tell Catholic news agency that policy decisions and presidential appointments made within the first 100 days of a Biden administration could roll back conscious protections and protections for the unborn. Joining me now is Kate Scanlon, political affairs correspondent for EWTN News. Kate, welcome. Great to have you on. You've been reporting on this, talking to pro-life leaders ahead of the election. I know there are several areas of concern, but first, I want to start with the Hyde Amendment. What do they think we could see there?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Tracy. The Hyde Amendment is longstanding federal policy that bars the use of taxpayer funds for elective abortion procedures. Joe Biden, as a candidate for president, has reversed his previous support for the Hyde Amendment and now supports overturning it. So we could set the stage for taxpayer funding for abortion, as well as the conscience issues that would present.
Kate, what about the Mexico City policy, which prohibits the use of taxpayer funds for non-governmental organizations abroad that perform abortions? We know the Trump administration expanded the policy to include other forms of foreign aid, such as global health assistance. What are the implications there?
So the pro-life leaders I spoke with told me that the Mexico City policy is often the first benchmark we have, the first official action that an administration will take on abortion. It was first implemented by President Reagan, and it's been upheld by every Republican administration since, and it's been overturned by every Democratic administration, including the Obama administration, in which Joe Biden was obviously the vice president. So we could anticipate that very soon in his first days in office.
And the Trump administration has also enforced laws protecting conscious rights. How might a Biden administration change that?
So there are laws on the books to protect the conscience rights of, for example, a nurse who wouldn't want to participate in an abortion procedure. But a lot of these laws hinge on personnel who are willing to enforce them. And so some of these enforcement mechanisms might not be there if the Biden administration were appointing personnel.
Kate, what are some of the other areas of concern, and how soon do the pro-life leaders that you've spoken to think that some of the changes could be enacted? That's if Joe Biden were elected president.
So some of the other points of concern are a loosening of restrictions on chemical abortions, particularly during the coronavirus pandemic, as well as blocking states from defunding Planned Parenthood from their Medicaid programs. Now, some of these changes that are completely within control of the White House could happen as a ceremonial measure on President Biden's first day in office, but they might happen a few days later on the anniversary of Roe versus Wade.
Kate, anything else that you think might be important for our viewers to know?
Absolutely. So some of these pro-life leaders that I spoke with were very concerned about the Senate filibuster, particularly in a Biden administration in which Democrats took back control of the Senate. You might see movement to overturn the Senate filibuster, which would make passing some of these pro-life protections more difficult.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. And you can read more of Kate's reporting at CatholicNewsAgency.com. Kate Scanlon, political affairs correspondent for EWTN News. Thank you again, Kate.
Thank you so much.